Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the vault, episode 649. Trust Christian change lives. And so this is one of those moments where we appreciate all the live listeners, all the replay listeners, all the long term and long time listeners. And so a lot of the long time listeners will be able to flow with the stories, whereas a lot of the newer people, you can choose to accept these stories as the truth and be one of the success stories, or you can continue to live on the public side. And there is a public side and a private side, and Trust Christian is going to talk about today the experiences and the lives that we've changed and changing lives. Why? Because we have. We've changed lives at the vault, ladies and gentlemen. We've had over half the trustees go from employee to entrepreneurship. There are many that had their own business when they started, but over half have went from employees to entrepreneurship. It's a thought process. It's a mindset. So we're going to talk about that on this episode because a lot of times people say, "Oh, this person's successful because they had this and they had that." No, a lot of the times, ladies and gentlemen, we have trustee after trustee after trustee after trustee. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been trained in communications. A lot of trustees are quote unquote, they want mindset training to talk, think, and speak like a trustee. So we change lives for the thought process. Not just because they have an asset base. Oh, this trustee had homes already, Trust Christian in the vault. Oh, this person had a great business already. That's why they were able to just jump into trusteeship and be a great trustee. That's not it. The reason why they were able to be a great trustee, and anyone that's going to be a great trustee, is because they adopt the trustee thought processes. So we're going to address what these thought processes are in this particular episode: the good, the bad, the ugly, the good, bad, different. Because that's where we are. Trustees coming to the trustee training, and there's a thought process. There is a thought process, ladies and gentlemen, associated with trusteeship. What's that thought process? Trustees say, "Oh, Trust Christian, I'm going to study, I'm going to study, I'm going to study." When you going to do? Trustee training involves taking action. See, that's trustee training. What are y'all doing? "Oh, I'm going to read the book." Whoa, 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 hold on. The college grads, the non college grads, they're just going to read books. Trust Christian and Vault, we don't just read books. We take and put into action what is it that we've gone over. And as far as our learnings and trusteeship, why? Because if you get information from a book, you're supposed to apply it. You got to change your life. People talking about, "Oh, I'm getting into private information. I'm getting into the wealthy information, and I'm not wealthy." Are you doing wealthy things? Trust Christian, tell me what the wealthy things are. I'm doing wealthy things. I'm starting a business. Not at all. Starting a business is not just a wealthy thing. Everybody, that's not even how this works. Just starting a business doesn't make a person wealthy. You have wealthy habits. You have wealthy associations. When our trustees say they're in real estate, we talk to them about being a part of a real estate association so they can associate with high income earners in real estate, so they can go associate with the biggest players in the construction, in the GC world, in the realtor world, in the developer world. They weren't going to those events sometimes first. They just had some assets. They had a thought process to maybe even acquire those assets. Now we're past just acquiring those assets or thinking about them. We're rubbing shoulders with the people that are making moves like we are, that are putting in the hard hours and the long hours like we are. They're putting in the trustee hours like we are. They're aware of trusteeship like we are. We don't even have to question whether they know trusteeship. We can ask a few questions, of course, in conversation, but we're aware they actually are in trusteeship. So we're aware they should be aware of being how to be a trustee, because we know they're in trusteeship. So in trusteeship, we've had trustees go back to law school. We've had trustees go to law school. Somebody said, well, how does that benefit anybody that they went to law school? Well, these trustees are actually legally competent now, and they're competent at a very high level. And as well, they could be a trustee for other people's family estate because they have the formal knowledge on formal papers. So some people would say, oh, we're going to just read the book. We're just going to go read the information, trust Christian Evolve. We're going to listen to this information through the YouTube, through you. And that's that. But what happened to you all having to go to the events with the other wealthy families? The ones that cost $1,000+ That's how we change lives once again. Because we have families that enrolled in the program and now they go to those events. They always ask us about those events. The trustee even said it earlier. They, oh, Trust Christian, I need to go to those high net worth investor events that you always talk about. Okay. They cost you a dinner. So we've had trustees, families, individuals come through. They changed their habits, so they changed their life. They're not in the same environments. They changed their life. They're not using the same information that public people are using. They changed their life. They're not in the same constraint time-wise for money. They changed their life. They have their significant other involved in their business affairs. Before they didn't, because at the job, you just go to work. You don't have someone that can help you out in your job because it's just your job. So now you have trustees that they have their own businesses, they have family businesses, and their families are working together. We changed their lives. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on. Thank you. So we're here again. And we're focused on how do you change lives? Well, you go from public to private. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to go from public to private. What makes you public and private? Are you practicing business and trusteeship from the public trustee, from the public name? Or are you practicing private trusteeship from the private names, from the private family estate? We change lives. Got a lot of families that are operating from the private perspective. That's a good thing because we are natively private. Inherently, sometimes people go into the public and now they have a public estate. But what estate do you really want to operate out of? Your family estate or your personal estate? A lot of people are operating from their personal estate. That's the public side. Think about it. You're the beneficiary in the public side. Unless you're an officer. Oh, I know what I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be the officer and the beneficiary. That's what people say. Oh, yeah? Nah, we change lives. People just go private. People don't want to be the beneficiary working with us. And we even talk about their children. When we talk about what families been online and do they want their children to be beneficiaries. We change lives. We make sure that, oh, you think about it in the public, right? Let's just say there's a passing in the public and somebody doesn't have their estate set up properly. Does it even get passed along to the children properly? Sometimes it could be a big situation to pass along the assets to the children properly. We change lives. We made it a point to not have families be in those positions where the public estate is just in shambles. The public estate is up for grabs. The public estate doesn't have a plan. It's just called Social Security, that type of stuff. Oh, I'm going to put a will in place so you're being charged to pass along your estate to your family. That's what you're being charged, to pass along your estate to your family. So, Trust Christian changed lives. We just have families that said, we want another option. And that's what you pay for. You get what you pay for in life. If you pay for nothing, you get nothing. But if you pay for privacy, then you get privacy. It's like an animal. When you pay for an animal, you get an animal. When you pay for a house, you get a house. You pay for anything, you get it. But there's also a thought process. A lot of trustees, we want to emphasize that for all the long time continuing trustees, a lot of trustees say, oh, I want to be in it. I want to be in it. I want to keep my head focused. Here we go. Trust Christian changed lives. So, some trustees understand that December is one of the most important months in trusteeship. We got to set the record straight. Because we had to talk to some trustees. They took off in December. How you going to take off the most important month when you got to make distributions? And we've been meaning to say this, but you don't know how many trustees came through and, oh man, I took off in December. Now, we can understand the trustees that kicked off the first of the year and they said, hey, we're going to sit out for the first 2 weeks. We could take a break. Okay. They pushed through the whole year. Not only that, they made sure that the affairs were done properly in the year. So then when they walk into this year, they can have the first 2 weeks to gather the office of making sure everything's together. And that's what we saw from a lot of public companies, actually. Even right now, on the 20th, you could say a lot of public companies are going to get earnings back up and get focused back on profits, whereas they may have been focused for the first 2-3 weeks on gathering information for earnings reports, for quality of earnings reports for the beneficiaries to say, hey, this is what we're giving, this is what we're not giving. Think about that. Even if you pushed it in a year and you didn't give a distribution, maybe the first half of the year, first week, you say, okay, we're going to give that distribution and it should be done previously. We'll say that much. We're not giving legal advice or financial advice, but we are saying, hey, distributions, always best to give a distribution before what? Before the end of the year. Now, once again, you just want to make sure you have good accounting, quote unquote, trusteeship, and some things can play in your favor, but it's always focused on doing it immediately. So even if you walk into this year, you say, oh, we did the distribution, we got our hands in there, we're in a deadlock for the first 2 weeks as far as moving anything. Everything's been paid for the first month in December because of distributions. So it's challenging for us to do anything for the first 2-3 weeks because that's where we're actually focused on accounting. Not just the distributions, but the accounting, and maybe even focused on our accounting plan moving forward for the next fiscal 11, 12 months. So you think about that. We changed lives. Some people didn't even have a family plan in front of them. Some people didn't have a trustee plan in front of them. Better to have a plan than no plan. Trust Christian gives you the structure. Trust Christian in the vault, we give you the plan you need. Why? Because trustees don't have a plan previous, right? So we give them the framework that they need. That is a tailored approach. That's not even a one shoe fits all situation. It's a tailored approach. It's a tailored approach, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, think about that. And so let's focus on the tailored approach. And the tailored approach deals with changing lives. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? And how does that involve Trust Christian involved, especially in trusteeship? Trustees come on the line, oh, Trust Christian involved. I want to know about a charity and trusteeship. We're going to go ahead and tell y'all. Oh, Trust Christian involved. How deep can it get? First of all, it's so crazy. We have so many stories at the vault, ladies and gentlemen. It's longer than an hour, just story after story after story. We have trustees that have been around for years. We have trustees that have left their job. We have trustees that have went to law school, not one, not two, more than three. Trustees in another country going to law school so they can understand trusteeship in their country in conjunction with the United States. Trusteeship from another country, ladies and gentlemen. And they're being a trustee in that country, and they're doing trustee training in that country, and they understand communications in that country. We change lives. Our focus is to empower people. It's not to keep you up under the we was going to say somebody's name because that you don't want to name the show after you, but people got the shows named after them. That's how you know it's supposed to be trusteeship, right? Private trusteeship means you're not gonna have your name in the front. You're focused on the entity. You're focused on the person. You understand this business is not personal. That's what we work with our trustees and changing their lives. Trustees come, they say, okay, I need trusteeship. Then they find out, oh, wow, it's not just trusteeship. It's I got to preserve the assets in the correct position. Change lives. Why? Some trustees, there were trustees, for example, we've done episodes with trustees. They got in a trustee training program. They got linked up with our private insurance guys. They end up getting their license for the insurance. They start making money, and that's how they bring money into the family estate. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. You're not doing something new because you decide to do the insurance. A lot of trustees come to the table and they had the insurance license, so now they want to renew it, or they get in and they say, oh man, I didn't have an insurance license, so I'm gonna study for the test. But the point being is they change their life. Why? Because they got a new revenue stream. They also they started the family bank for their family. They actually bought the premier package to even sell it. That means they have the premium. They should be well complimented. Any family member that gets the insurance. Why? Everybody wants to say they got to start a private family bank. Yeah, so who's going to write the policy? Oh, we need a family member to write the policies. Exactly. It's a system. What's wrong with having a family member internally actually do the policies for the family members? But that's the thought process. That's the changes that we help. Families put that structure in place. Families want to say, oh, what are we going to do to bring the money in the trust Christian in the vault? Sounds like the second way of being in trusteeship. Oh, we're going to get the insurance. But you got to build a relationship. Yeah, you know how many people know that private information about the private insurance stuff? Oh man, Trust Christian, it's on the internet. Everybody knows about it. No. Y'all know that. Y'all know people ain't out here using the private banking system. So what do you mean everybody's doing it just because it's on the internet? It's not. Just because it's on the internet, everybody's not doing it. So are you going to be that person that puts that system in place for your family, for the private family banking system? Because we can agree 50% of the families on the internet don't have it. 50% of the families in America don't have it. It's actually a 1%er tool. For that being that reason, less than 5% of the population has it. And it also should let you know less than 5% of the population can even write the policies. So you're an asset once you know how to write the policies. You're less than a 5% benefit, asset to the family estate. Think about how valuable you are. You're part of 5% of the population because you know how to write the policies now. We change lives. We're okay with making sure that they understand that information and they get it and they use it. We're okay with that. We change lives. We can say that, yes, there are families. We can bring them on the podcast. There are many families that have implemented the policies. Not the, I could trust Christian, I got insurance. Yeah, sure. Everybody says that when they reach out to the vault. But then when they say trust Christian, I need your guy. We need your lady. When they reach out and they get that person and they change their life, we change lives. So, trustee training is turned into a performance coaching program. That mentorship stuff's out the window. Y'all want mentorship? Go find people that use that word. Trust Christian in the Vault, we're doing performance coaching. It's always been that, but we can clearly say that. If you're a long-time subscriber, please hit the like and subscribe. At least hit the like so we can boost the show and the algorithm. Appreciate everybody for hitting the like and subscribe button. Long-time subscribers and listeners. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, trustees are performers. They have a job to do. So if trustees want to take a break in December, go ahead and take a break in December. But for the trustees that want to put a plan in place, that want to perform week after week after week, month after month, and then we got a trustee that comes on the line and says, "Oh yeah, I was afraid to quit my job," and they got over $500,000 in assets. Good income coming in. We change lives. It's not about their asset base. Anybody could look at their asset base on paper and say, yeah, you could quit. Yeah, but they said they were afraid. You know how many people got a part-time business? They should go full-time because they got the money right. It's a change in thought process. It's a change in lifestyle. It's a change in thought process. It's a change in lifestyle. So you change the thought process, you change the life. We have to change the thought process. Oh, I'm going to take off. We could take breaks. Okay. Did y'all go on private family retreats? Was Christmas paid for through the foundation? Isn't that charity? Giving people gifts? Oh, we didn't know how to do that yet. Trust Christian in the vault. Right. Did you get the consultation? Did you reach out for trustee training? Christian@trustchristian.com. That's the email. Christian@trustchristian.com. And we're working with a set number of families right now. We don't need to be all over the place. Some people say, oh man, how many families can you work with? We have resources. We can find, we will make sure that you, people come, oh, can you be a trustee of my family estate? People come on the line talking about, can you be a trustee of their family estate? They willing to give up trusteeship to you. Oh, really? Are you going to invest in your private education? Or are you going to let someone else come in on some slave master stuff and take over your family estate because they have more knowledge than you? You don't know if they have their best interest at heart. At least they don't have a conflict of interest position, which is they inside and they could take over. You think Trust Christian don't know how to call an emergency meeting on your family estate? Huh? Y'all want to have a little laugh real quick? Let's have a laugh now. Oh, Trust Christian Navarre, you could have a family emergency meeting on us and kick us out the family estate? You don't know what Trust Christian could do. Right. So we're just here to help you implement the strategy that you say you want, which is to be private, to be wealthy, to be protected, to be successful and protected, to make sure that no one in the public has control over your private family estate. That's a fair thing. People want to have control over their lives. They don't want to feel like they don't have control over their name, image, and likeness, over their family estate. They want to feel like they have control over that. It's a feeling. Baby, they got that feeling. They got that feeling. So we changed lives. They got a feeling now. They got a feeling of confidence that privacy is real. Think about your circle that's in the public. People, if you guys are listening to this and you're in the public and you know you have friends that are in the public, ask them, do they believe in privacy? They'll laugh at you. Ain't that what they say? They'll laugh at you. They scoff at you, Trust Christian. They scoff at you. They're scoffing at you? How can you have privacy? I'm on the internet. Everybody's on the internet. Everything's on the internet. Right, Trust Christian? Private trust is on the internet, Trust Christian. Okay. It's all on the internet. Here we go. Trust Christian. Isn't all the private information on the internet? No. Trust Christian changed lives. We do that privately. You got to do that privately. You got to do that privately. That's how you get the information right, privately. You can vet the information privately because you're going to acid test it in the public. See? You take the private and you go into the public. It's not the other way around. The public's not coming into the private. It has no place there. The public is a fiction, supposedly. So the private is real life. So the public is a fiction. The public is de facto. The public, right? So we change lives. We focus on equity, not debt. Everybody says, oh, the United States is in debt. The United States is in debt. The public is in debt. The private is in equity. You're supposed to be dealing in equity. Oh, they trying to barter though. Stop playing. Y'all know what bartering looks like on the public side. Especially y'all don't want to talk about with the human aspect. Supposed to get compensated too from the human aspect. There's human capital and financial capital. So we change lives. A lot of trustees will get in. They had something already brewing. They had a business already brewing. But hey, we pushed them off the river of denial. We helped them put a plan. We helped them put a strategy in place. You know how many trustees we could bring on back to back to back? It's gonna be worse than Drake. We could bring many trustees that'll come on and say, "Man, Trust Christian, I got more than what I thought I was gonna get." Exactly. They didn't even come on the line to become a. They didn't even come on the line to become an entrepreneur. A lot of them sometimes your nice six-figure earners, a lot of them just wanted to make sure that they had trusteeship in place. Usually, your six-figure income earners want to have, especially jobbers, they want to put asset protection in place. Okay, but what happens when they get the next level information of, oh man, I gotta know how to delegate. I gotta go to these events. Trust Christian. I went to college. I have a business. I went to college, so I actually am a part of an alumni association. I could go to the donor department of the school. I can actually do investments with the school. I know how to. I have those relationships, or I can at least go back and reestablish those relationships because I have that network available to me. Exactly. That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. That's the difference. Being able to change lives that way is very important. Like you say, we didn't force anybody to quit, but quite a few of them, and we got trustee right now. They said, "Oh yeah, they got actually that." Now you think about this: who's scared to quit a job? A person that's got 50K or a person that's making 100K? The person that's making 100K actually is very. They're more likely to be a little bit more shook and boost because they have less to. They have more to lose. But hey, guess what? That's what we attract. We get the six-figure income earners quitting. Yep, we're excited about them. So we have a six-figure income earner. He said, "Oh, Trust Christian, this, that, and the third. I get my life together. I got this asset base, and I got a six-figure income job. And I appreciate you because guess what? I sent in my resignation the second week of the year for March 31st. You already put your resignation papers in. Oh, you know how powerful that is? You know, we're sharing with that trustee right now how much time they're going to get back. The little bit of time that the job does take, even if it only took 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, so you only put 20 hours in. Think about it. This trustee telling you, oh man, I'm making six figures and I'm not even working 30 hours a week. Right. They might be a little shook in boots. They ain't doing a lot to make it money. Now they going to have to get back out and find out what the real world's like. Oh man, plan, strategy, business. Oh man, I heard the business world's working world, huh? Right, but they also have an asset base, so they're not coming out into no cash flow. They're walking into cash flow. They're walking into asset base. Change lives. They have it already, but remember, it's not about the outside. It's about the inside. What's the asset base like? And the asset base isn't what's going to keep them confident. Because think about it, they could self sabotage. They could say, "Oh man, I'm not going to do it. I'm not gonna do it." They could fail, whatever it is. No, they said I need to change my thought process, Trust Christian in the vault. So guess what? I'm gonna put in my resignation 3 months in advance. Okay, great. They did that the first week or second week. We just got that email the other day. They're going to quit March 31st. All we need to be talking about now is what are they going to do to fill in that time throughout the day for the rest of their life in trusteeship. And when we talk about charity, they actually did go to college. They have an education, a higher education, so they can actually do investments with colleges. And yes, this trustee is in foundationship. Yes, trustee is in foundationship. Trustee is in trusteeship. So, and trustees going to walk away from a six-figure job and do trusteeship. In the meantime, we should be focused on what? We're focused on right now. What is it that they want to accomplish in the foundation and as well in trusteeship? Just what do they want to accomplish? Establishing those relationships. We talked to this trustee. They're in real estate, so they're part of their local real estate association. Change lives. Sure, they went to it a few times. We emphasize the importance. You're in trusteeship. People in trust deal with people in trust. So they're heavily, they went to that. We talked to them about another club. They're investing in looking into another club, and as well looking into some other local organizations. We changed lives. Why? Because if you don't come from that socio-economic menu, it's time to get ahead and get adapted. It's time to get used to it. We gotta adapt. Trusteeship. People in trust deal with people in trust. Oh, okay. Then we gotta go hang out with other trustees. Where y'all think other trustees is hanging out? The country club. Man, I don't know how far that is away from where I'm at, but guess what? Trustee figured it out. Oh man, that might not be extra close, but we'll figure it out, honey. Exactly. If you don't do that one thing, hey, you know any other organizations? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Some other organizations. We got trustees going out and visiting sites, proactively visiting sites now. You have to visit sites. It's a proactive thing. Oh, Trust Christian, nah, that sounded cool. I'm in trusteeship. I'm in foundation. Come on, man. We ain't going on vacations no more, honey. Christian, he told us, Trust Christian told us all the good things to change our life, but we didn't do it yet. But then some of us, we understand we got to do a site visit. And we actually are doing it through trusteeship. They go do site visits. They're visiting sites proactively now. Oh, wow. Well, we'll say, is it spending money through the foundation? Is it spending money as a trustee? Is it spending money? No, it's an investment. Because you're not spending money, you're investing. It's a difference in thought process. Oh, man, it's a difference in thought process? 100%. You think you're going to carry a public thought process and a private thought process in the world and be successful? How, Sway? It don't work that way. Public thought process, you do it by yourself. You're a solo entrepreneur. This trustee, we had to pull up the ESBI chart today. We pulled it up. Hey, trustee, you going to go ahead and be a sole trustee out here operating. Oh, guess what? You're going to go out and start networking at those locations we just talked about. And you're going to build relationships with other trustees. And now you can delegate responsibility. Now you can find other smart trustees in other fields. So your business can do business with those trustees in those fields. You're still doing business with people in those fields, but you're doing business with people in trusteeship. They're not a liability because you're investing in relationships, not spending time with your friends over the holidays and not getting reciprocal value. Nothing wrong with it. But we also want to exchange value, especially in trusteeship. Y'all end up getting so deep in the trusteeship, it feel like a mafia. Why? Because the people you deal with in trusteeship are the people you end up connecting and doing a lot with on a very frequent basis. They'll end up being in trusteeship, and you automatically know it because you know it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to speak about it, but you know it, and it's just that's the way it is. We're all in trusteeship. You're very much so. You move into that space. We change lives. Oh, I want to go private. I don't know no people trust Christian and vote. Y'all know how many people we know we're in remote Bumble middle of nowhere, Carolina. We don't know any trustees trust Christian and vote in Carolina. Exactly. Because you got to go to the events where the higher level trustees are already at. So when we get a trustee that comes to us and says, oh yeah, I went to this private family event, Trust Christian involved with family trustees, and it was a private event, and they said they want more trustees to come out. Right. Right? But it was a private event, one. It was private invite only, two. We knew you qualified income and trusteeship, three. You had a foundation. You just didn't get in the room because you had a charity. You know how many people come, I got a charity, I got a charity, I got a charity. But hold on. Why are the biggest organizations the foundations? Distinctly. The private ones, distinctly. Trust Christian involved change lives because we share with you the accurate information so you can make a quality decision on public and private. So it's a smorgasbord. So you can see, okay, these are my options. How you gonna give your options for free? Here we go. For all y'all that think y'all about to get trusteeship for free, this is what y'all hear. This is about to be a great analogy. Getting trusteeship over the internet is like getting free lunch in school. Simple as that. And if you got free lunch in school, you know what your lunches was like. And if you bought your lunch at school, or if you paid for lunch, you know what your lunches was like compared to somebody that had free lunch. And if people value people that have free lunch, that's okay. But here we go. If you understand what free lunch implies, that's a sad thing. Because a lot of people come from free lunch in America, especially if they went to public school. And it's okay. Because you got an opportunity. You got the opportunity to invest in your private family education and not accept free lunch over the internet from guys, from people that don't think or share with you that you shouldn't have to invest in your education. You don't have to invest in your private family education. Or you should do it the cheap route. So some people say, what does it cost, Trust Christian Vote? We're going to go ahead and tell y'all. Here we go. It's $12,000 a year. Trust Christian Vote. No way. $12,000 a year. No way. Trust Christian Vote. $12,000 a year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break it down for you. One event that we've gone to, that we know, that is available for trustees, for you and your family to acquire the relationships for trusteeship, to actually have quality, high-end trustee family relationships. If you go to an event, the event may cost you $1,000, $2,000. The airplane flight is $1,000, $2,000. The food, the travel, food, clothing is $1,000. Excuse us, 2,000 or more. Once again, that means that families, for one event, two events, when they're going to these private events throughout the country, may drop $3,000 to $5,000. If you go to 2 or 3 of those events a year, educational events, these are private events, you are investing in establishing a private network with families, that's what a cost would look like. Nice, good, high-end flagship event, $2,000, $3,000. Could push $5,000 depending on how you traveling, how you moving. If someone's not looking to invest $12,000 in their private education every year, overall, their private education to establish their relationships. Think about it. $12,000, ladies and gentlemen, that's for the families that enroll, so they understand they're going to make a lot more than $12,000. So we already know the training pays for itself. But what do you get? You don't get information. You get relationships. We change lives. You got to get the relationships in these sectors, not just the information. So even if you got the free lunch information over the internet, how are you establishing the relationships when the relationships, a lot of them are private? They don't come out in the public. They want it to be a barrier of entry. Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Thank you for listening to episode 649. Trust Christian changes lives. And we look forward to impacting more lives. When we talk about change, when somebody say they had a job and now they don't have a job because they chose to do that, their life was changed. They would have kept doing it and now they changed. We've had people come through, they got a full insurance business off now. Changed lives. They weren't doing insurance, they doing it full time and got other people working for them. Change lives because we have the mentorship in our system that that works with people to do that. People that are living off of charity now full time because they come in, they learn how to establish those relationships and the foundations. But it's time for people to pay to play. And everybody knows that. It's an education that comes with relationships. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all for trustee training. It's a simple plan, ladies and gentlemen. It's an accountability program. It's a performance coaching program. It's focused on you taking the actions you need to move forward, or people say they want to move forward, whether that's in LLC, that's in C Corp, whether that's in trusteeship, whether that's in foundationship. We look forward to serving. Christian at trustchristian.com is the email you can reach out to. Peace and joy.